ITV4, Jim Rosenthal celebrates the life of legendary commentator Reg Gutteridge. The Big Fight Review.
Reg Gutteridge was ITV's Mr. Boxing. For over 3 decades, he observed the best at first hand. He was a personal friend of the greatest. Reggie died in January at the age of 84. He lived his life with a twinkle in his eye and a gag up his sleeve. He was like a broadcasting dad to me. In this show, we remember Reg Gutteridge the man and the action his commentary enhanced.
Hello, I'm Reg Gutteridge, and this programme is going live to the world.
When you say Reg Gutteridge, it brings a smile to my face immediately.
Oh, I've never seen so many punches. Putting his punches together now, and he means it.
Everybody knew Reggie, and everybody wanted to meet him, and everybody wanted to be talked about by him.
It's good evening, America.
He was a man of the people.
Good afternoon to Britain and Holland.
The punters loved him, the boxers all liked him.
And a special welcome from me to the world of sport viewers.
What a round! He's got to stop this.
Hearing Reg's voice, it was as though you were sitting watching it with a mate.
He was subtle, he was old school.
What a battle! He's cutting the champion down to size. What a turnaround!
He was good at it, he was good at what he was doing.
Yes, that's it. It's all over. His legs have totally disobeyed him now.
He felt very grateful that he was doing something he loved very much.
It was a fantastic time, and it was a time when the best boxed the best.
A toe-to-toe one now, the crowd rising to that.
And Reg and I were ringside for almost every one of them.
Oh, that's it. He'll go down from this one. There it is, all over.
Yeah, he was one of the broadcasting greats, Jim, unquestionably.
Oh, beautiful punch down. That was one out of the blue.
Reggie had grown up, and his dad and his uncle had been the Gutteridge twins. His grandfather was a famous prize fighter.
You grew up in that atmosphere of boxing, you know, when you grew up in an atmosphere, his household, you know, was boxing and all boxing, so, I mean, that's good you learn from an early age. Reg was a pretty good amateur boxer himself before he, he lost a leg. You know, it's no secret that in World War II, he stepped out of a tank onto a mine and his leg was blown off. That would have crucified so many 19-year-olds, but Reg turned it into a joke.
Most of us will all remember, all his mates will remember about Reg, is how many jokes he used to make about his tin leg. I mean, there was always a tin leg story every time you met him.
On trips with some other journalists, they say he used to swim in the ocean and then come out without his artificial leg on and shout shark, you know, and everybody would flee the beaches.
You know, stories about that are legend, aren't they? I mean, we were in France, in Rouen, and it was outside of Rouen when the leg went. And so the word had got round locally. And we're at the ringside that night, and a French television man tapped Reggie on the shoulder and said, "Monsieur Gutteridge?" And Reggie said, "Yeah, I understand. It was here during the war. You lost your leg." And quick as a flash, Reg said, "Blimey, you haven't found it, have you?"
Well, yes, you could certainly say it's a strange setting, and I'm well in the, manure. And I've certainly not had to wear wellies before to preview a big fight.
He was a really good writer. You know, besides being a commentator, he was a writer.
Reggie became the boxing correspondent of the London Evening News when it used to sell more than 1 million every evening.
Somehow Reggie and I got on from day one, and he took me under his wing, although he was on a rival newspaper. He helped me a great deal. I knew when I couldn't understand something or needed some background information, because he was a fund of knowledge, I never had any hesitation in asking him to help me, and he always helped me from day one.
Do you know anything about this Wittenberg, Jim?
Nothing at all.
Do you know a bit about him? Yeah, I know just about his record, but it's not fair for me to tell you. You know, you've got to go out there and win on your own. It's no use if you're on the floor looking at me and saying you didn't tell me you did this or did that. That's the first thing you'd say to me.
Thanks, Reg.
A lot of the writers thought they were good writers, brilliant writers. They didn't have, like, the boxing background. like what Reg did.
Jim, do you think you won all right?
I thought I won.
Reg, did you suspect that he could give a draw?
Reg.
No, I'm asking him, you know.
I never, honest, Reg.
He was never vicious in his criticism. It was always based on what he thought was right.
I thought you won the fight, you know, but I suppose the other fellow had you down a couple of times. You know?
Yeah, but he was down as well, Reg.
Yeah.
You looked for his comments, you know, more than you did others, because you knew he'd been involved in it, and he knew what he was writing and talking about.
What were you doing on the deck, Jim? That's not like you.
I was very tired.
It was no surprise to you then when Reg moved from writing to be an outstanding boxing commentator?
Oh no, I think that was like a natural progression for Reg. Yeah, he enjoyed like being there and commentating there, being actually there and telling people what was going on.
Just tell me when to go, that's all. I'm all right. Oh, we need to kill that, don't we?
Level.
Oh, you want level? Bob Burrows said level, and this is the kind of level you'll get. We're holding the MC up before we come into the last fight.
The Hagler-Hearns commentary. I remember working with a number of top commentators out in the States. I used to work with Prime Network and Prime Ticket and ESPN and various other ones. And they said that commentary, Gutteridge's commentary, was just the most spectacular and brilliant commentary of that fight. And it was a great fight, and he just loved it, and he was really a top-class commentator.
Oh, what a start. Not playing around with any scouting reports, these two. And it looked as though Hearns landed a right-hand punch there that caught Hagler a little off balance and off guard. Oh, how can this go 12 rounds? This is unloading a lot of carefully nurtured hate, isn't it? It's a question of who takes the best punch. What an incredible start this is. The referee finally having to get in there because they started shoving close in. It's going to be rough. Well, they're not trying to baffle each other with science. We thought it might be a chess match a bit in the opening round. Couldn't have been more wrong than that. Don Curry, there's no way I could see a start like this.
I think this is the kind of fight Hagler wants. And if the fight continues this way, I don't look the fight to go 12 rounds. This is the kind of fight Marvin wants to be in. Good strategy by Marvin.
He wants to draw the big fellow, the long fellow, into a fight. But doing so, he's risking his chin, Hagler. He must figure he's durable enough. 9 years since anybody licked him. He was only on the deck once, was rolled down, but that was definitely a slip for me anyway. Oh, I've never seen so many punches in the middleweight championship. This in the opening round. Well, Hearns has landed his best shots with that hitman right hand, and it hasn't stopped Hagler in his tracks. He looks as though he's marked around the left eye, Hagler. Don?
Yeah, I think Hagler, that's exactly what Hagler wants him on the rope. Hagler's cut real bad over the eyes, and blood gets in his eyes, but that's exactly where Hagler needs to be, right? Keep Tommy right on those ropes and pound that body.
He's got Hearns pinned in his own corner, and he certainly is bleeding there, Hagler. Heads are banging in. Countdown for the first round, and maybe they'll calm down a bit. As Don Curry said, Hagler really climbing right on top of Hearns. What a battle. It's the best opening round I've seen in the championship at any weight, I think. Absolute mayhem. Well, we'll be glad to hear the round finish to get our breath back, and I'm sure these two will, and the stare at the end there was unreal. And Hagler really has fired himself up for this fight. He always knew he was mean, moody, and a bit magnificent at times, and he's proving it here. And he's making life even more awkward for Hearns by switching stance. But Hearns trying to obey Emmanuel Stewart's orders now to get boxing done.
I think he's been smart now by boxing and moving.
Funny, he keeps falling over Hagler's feet, doesn't he?
Well, Reggie, I think as a left-hander, it's very difficult to fight a left-hander.
I this time he needs to grab and hold him, just like he's doing now, to stay off the rope. He's also tripping over a few right hooks, by the way. Hello, what's happened here? He's taking time off for the doctor to look at Hagler. Oh, don't say this is going to stop in the third.
No, it's not bothering his side. Let him go.
He said it, let him go there. Dr. Romeo said it's not interfering with his side. It looks as though it's on the forehead, Don, is it?
It is, but the blood can flow in your eye and blind you.
That'll only make Hagler even more angry, because he probably figures by now that he can't go 12 because of the injury. Although we're almost on the ring apron, Don, of Curry and I, it is hard to see the full extent of it, but the doctor looks quite right. Oh, that's how he went with Ray Leonard when he caught him, Hearns. His feet unbuckled, and when Hagler moved in, the knockdown timekeeper in front of me, it looks like a formality in the third round. Punches to the body there. Hagler made up his mind, he's got to go all out. And Richard still saying, no, you're not in a position to defend yourself. 3 rounds of absolute mayhem.
It was the 80s, and that was the best 10 years of boxing I've ever lived through. You know, with Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, Shuri Leonard, Marvin Hagler.
He's won it! Alan Minter is the new middleweight champion of the world.
When he had those great fights in America,
Pull yourself
when he was involved with the Alan Minter fight.
When you're worried about the decision, Reg, it's to all the people at home. Yes, it is. All you people, I've done it for you. God bless you.
Alan Minter, absolutely superb, wonderful.
When he was involved with John Curry and Lloyd Honeyghan, when Lloyd Honeyghan produced that amazing upset in Atlantic City, he realised just how important they were.
Caught him there again, and his legs are starting to disobey him a bit. And Honeyghan knows it. He's going to try and plant that right hand again. And if he does it, I think this is probably the upset. I nearly was going to say of the century, but certainly close to it, Jim.
Yeah, well, he's got him all over the place again. Honeyghan has been troubling Curry a lot more with his punches than what we expected. A great round for Honeyghan here.
No way has Curry been in trouble in any of his fights as he is in this one. See, he's looking for openings the whole time now, Honeyghan. He's got Curry on the defensive.
Curry's caught on the eye, Reg. Left eye, Curry's
cut under the left eye. So not only pride being hurt, but body as well. And the referee stopping to have a look at that. Is he going to call a doctor? No. Shouldn't really wipe it away with his hand, I would have thought. It's just above the eye. It's in an awkward position, that cut, Jim.
Yep. It's in a position that could get far worse. Curry landed a good overhand right, bang on target, caught Honeyghan a bit high, but didn't trouble him in the least, which is good news.
Well, I tell you, at this stage of the game, you fancy saying, well, we should start lighting the beacons, I think, for Britain to become a world champion, because he really has dictated the last 2 rounds anyway, and he started off well enough as well.
Any shots that Curry does land, Honeyghan's taken them high on the forehead. He hasn't taken a clean punch in the chin all night long.
And there's lots of oohs and ahs there from the American crowd as Honeyghan lays into the champion. He's just got to have that professional's care a bit now, Honeyghan. He's got this championship well within his grasp, but he mustn't make mistakes. And he looks so weary, shaking his head as he goes back to the corner there. And there's a lot of consternation there in the corner. You can see the referee looking over. And he's become champion of the world, Honeyghan.
and he's just thrown himself across the ring. It is really incredible, because that is one of the biggest turn-ups, I'm going to say it, in the history of boxing, because Don Curry, let's face it, was unbeaten and looks unbeatable, and this fellow Lloyd Hannigan from London really did the business in every way, and I've never seen such a joyous scene at an end of a fight as you will with that one.
When we return, we bring you more great action from Reggie's commentating career.
ITV4 have got hold of the manual for the ultimate weapon. We've selected only the best to build this sublime instrument of war. Attention to every last detail has been paid in constructing this weapon of mass destruction.
What are you?
This war machine takes to the battlefield in First Blood, Tuesday at 10.
Reg Gutteridge ITV's Voice of Boxing. Tonight, this is your life.
Oh my, I've seen this so many times, I don't believe this, and everybody...
It's true.
Reg Gutteridge, this is your life. Let's get ready to rumble.
Reg, Sugar Ray Leonard here. I just want to say it's great knowing you, and even though my career is over, Reg, we're still buddies. Ciao.
Reg, yo, this is Thomas Hitman Hearn. Best wishes to you, and take care.
In the United States, you were the first overseas commentator to be voted Broadcaster of the Year by the Association of American Boxing Writers and Sportscasters. And here are just a few of your award-winning moments.
Inevitable that Duran has got to try and rough Leonard up. He's got to try and draw him into a fight. He can't afford to stand off, and a good shot by Leonard. The right hand punches, catching Duran square on. Tremendous start to the fight again. Can this keep up now for 15 rounds? Well, we're going to get some flashy stuff now from Leonard. And when he does that, Duran would have trouble hitting him with a bag of rice. Now you know why he's the all-American hero out here. He really has taken over from Ali in a big way. And yet outside the ring, he's not arrogant at all. Look at this, real showboating, and this is the town for it. I think that will infuriate Duran. He couldn't stand suffering humiliation. That's the worst thing. You notice there's 4 ropes I have here, an extra safety factor to stop the boxers going out. Well, I haven't seen this outside of an Ali fight. Nobody does it. Oh, what do you know about this? It's almost like a film script. If they put this in a Rocky film, nobody would believe it. Well, he didn't like that, Duran. He's been really upstaged. He didn't approve of Leonard's antics at all, but the crowd here in this magnificent Superdome really loved that. Seems to me Duran's a bit surprised by Leonard's power of the punch, let alone the flash stuff. They're so crisp and accurate, those punches coming in. There it is, that right hand's a stunner. And of course, we were able to see this fight in Britain 21 days before they can see it on home television in America. Oh! What's Duran doing around here? He's saying, I don't understand what's going on here. He's quit, Duran. I don't believe this. I don't believe this in the 8th round. What's gone on? Now Duran wants to fight one in the 2nd. He's out of his mind. Has he injured a hand? More likely got a broken heart. I really don't understand what Duran's done. I think I've seen more than my fair share of fights. Never of a fight of this magnitude could you see a most ridiculous finish, although Duran knew that he was getting beaten out of sight. An absolute brilliant performance by Sugar Ray Leonard.
I will mention, of course, that he had a sidekick.
Reg, I can't believe he's still standing. These punches are tremendous punches, bang on target.
They were probably the Morecambe and Wise of boxing on television.
He's waved the end there before the bell had a chance anyway.
It was as though he adopted me. I mean, for 15 years, every trip we went on, he would say to me, "You got your passport?" I say, "Yeah, Reg, I've got my passport. Let me see it."
Just missed his whisker with the right hand again.
Oh, yes, just as well that didn't get through. That would have had him over.
They were a great team, and it worked well. I mean, obviously the age difference and so forth, but I think that's what made it work.
Ben reckless again, Reg.
Yeah, he's calling him on. That's crazy.
This is crazy.
The Cockney voice and the Glaswegian, they were just magic together, weren't they?
We did some massive fights, and I mean, there must have been viewing figures, 7, 8, 9, 10 million people. So I should have been nervous, but I never was nervous, because all I really was doing was talking to Reg Gutteridge, which was the easiest thing in the world.
He was actually waving Ben on.
Yeah, he's been a bit cheeky there, wasn't he?
Yeah, but a good right hand punch it was.
That would have knocked his monocle out, Jim, I'll tell you that.
When Reggie started with ITV, you know, you guys used to get, when Eubank was fighting, or Nigel Benn, 14 to 15 million viewers on a Saturday night. So the whole nation knew Reg Gutteridge.
I vaulted the ropes one particular time, I think it was in Manchester, and the term, the ego has landed.
There it is, the ego has landed.
Class.
So into the final minute of the second then. Scheduled for 12.
Oh, that was a shot, Reg. Well, Eubanks has taken that one, Reg, yeah, so he can take a shot. That was the one.
Yeah, other fighters haven't stood up with punches like that from Ben, have they?
That was a good shot, and that certainly got a reaction from Eubank. That was a lovely shot, Reg.
That's answered a lot of questions, Jim, almost the final piece of the jigsaw, really, because I often wondered whether he could really take that good a punch, because he's never had a puncher compared with Ben.
And Eubank is going to have to come back with punches, Reg. He's not going to be able to strut. He's going to have to try and hurt Ben. He's done it, Reg.
He's done Ben by the look of it. He chopped that right hand down, though. He's right above us, Ben, almost falling down in the ring on us here.
This is what we've seen Ben so dangerous from this position. Here it comes.
He's always saying he likes to battle back, Ben. Well, he's got to do it here. He tried to do it with Watson, but it didn't work.
Ben's legs are shaking.
Oh, and good job. Richard Steele, good referee, threw himself in the middle there. And meanwhile, he has a little strut around there, doesn't he, Eubank? Now, that was a little bit of the writing on the wall, I think, there for Ben. He was banging trouble. Oh, he's got him in a headlock there, isn't he?
Well, I think Ben has realised the 5th and 6th weren't his best rounds, so he's trying to... Oh, 2 good shots now. Will Ben take those, Reg?
So he knows instantly, Eubank, when he's got the man in trouble.
This is where Eubank must be careful.
He's saying, OK, come on, now Ben's answering him back. I thought that would happen. The referee might just calm them down a bit and say, I don't want any talking, I'm the only guy who's paid for the talking, apart from the commentators. Another low blow, and he's going to make a meal of that. But they're calling Ben on, saying, take no notice, the corner will get into him.
That just looked like a borderline shot to me, Reg. Is that a little bit of Eubank's character slipping there? I don't know, but that just looked like a borderline shot then. Well, Ben is the one at the moment who has been prepared to grit his teeth and show how much he wants this championship. Eubank just a little bit negative.
Well, that punch landed on the back of his leg, actually, as he was falling. I think he was falling for that.
That was Ben.
Oh, what a shot that
is. Really shook him.
Opened him up with the left hand and then shot the right hand over, and it connected. There's the countdown. If he did go down, the count would continue.
Ben's shaking, Reg.
Right to his boots, Jim.
Ben is shaking. The eyes watch Reg. This will be the finish of the belt.
And it's all over in the 9th round. And would you believe in Ben's corner, they looked as though they were objecting to that for a minute. Why was it stopped? But I think he was right to dive in there. Apart from the eye closing, he was also getting punished at that point, Jim.
Reg, Ben was finished at that point. The only thing that was going to save him was the bell. He wasn't going to save himself. And when the bell is going to ring, it's nothing to do with the referee. When a fighter is out of a fight to stay, he's got to stop the fight. Bad luck for Ben. A few seconds later, the bell would have rung, probably got him recovered again. But that was a tremendous left-hand shot that shook him. Eubank, to me, had become a little bit negative, but he'll probably tell us later that he bided his time and he knew it was coming. But we'll see what he says. But a tremendous finish. Well done, Eubank.
When you rejoin us, we'll catch up with Reggie's great mate, the greatest, Muhammad Ali.
You're a boxing student. Then, having said
I'm a
that,
student.
Oh yes, you say you're a student.
Professor.
Exactly. I bow to your superior knowledge at all times. You know that.
Ali knew everybody by sight. Didn't know my name. He didn't know anybody's name except for two men in this country. One was Harry Carpenter, the BBC, and the other one was Reg Gutteridge of ITV.
He could genuinely say that somebody like Muhammad Ali was a friend. Muhammad Ali went to see him in hospital when he was ill.
Reg was seriously ill in Hammersmith Hospital, suffering from blood poisoning. And can you imagine the scene? Hammersmith Hospital, on a busy afternoon, in walks, unannounced, Muhammad Ali, one of the most well-known faces in the entire world. And the first thing he said is, "Where's Reg Gutteridge? I want to see him." Anyway, he gets into Reggie's room. Reggie's lying asleep. He wakes up and sees Ali standing by his bedside. Well, Reggie told me afterwards, he said, "I really thought I was hallucinating." Anyway, Ali said a prayer by Reggie's bedside and walked out after a visit. And Reggie admitted to me afterwards, he said, "I was so overwhelmed, I actually burst into tears."
You think of that famous sort of anecdote of him and Ali, when Ali's chatting to him, leaning over the ring, talking to him. I mean, you know, who could have got away with that? Only Reg. It's only Reg who'd had the cheek to have done that, you know.
He's saying something to World of Sport down there, Mohammed, just now. I'm sorry, we missed you with that.
I'm glad my fans in London can see me in my last days. As you see, I'm getting old now. Years ago, I would have took his man in one round.
Okay, that was a message from you.
Well, you know, that was Ali, and Ali was a one-off, wasn't he? But then, you know, so was Reg.
Let's join Reg and Ali now at Highbury Stadium in London, where Ali's set to take on R. Henry.
And about to enter the ring just above my head, the man that has all our hopes, Henry Cooper. And Muhammad Ali is looking extremely calm as he rises in above my head in a white towel dressing gown suitably inscribed, and does his usual jig in the corner. Clay does not do any infighting at all. That's his one weakness, and you'll notice he claims inside, he just clutches, so we're getting a lot of untidy work close in. And it's round 6. Yes, Henry Cooper's left eye is badly cut. A really bad one, which is a right-hand clip there in the far corner. Henry shook his head in despair. He knows he's in trouble. He's rushing after Clay. He probably knows that time's not on his side now, and referee George Smith is having a close look, but allowing it to go on. I'm afraid it's a very bad cut. No, it's all over. The great disappointment for Henry Cooper. Cassius Clay is still the heavyweight champion of the world. A very bad cut left eye that was done by a right-hand clip, I thought, in a neutral corner. Cooper sensed the trouble, rushed in, and here we have this normal pandemonium after the big fight. It's like a crowded train on the rush hour.
Reggie travelled the world following Ali throughout his career. Let's join them now in Zurich for a fight with brawling Jürgen Blin.
Again there, he's trying that left hook for size, and it's working. Blin is in there pitching. And a minute gone then in the second round. And you just see a bit of the Ali magic there when he backs off on the ropes and pulls away, makes his opponents flounder out of distance. And he says reputation's at stake. I want to prove to the people in America that I can finish off opponents. He said, I think the British still believe in me. And although Blin's face now is looking a little marked, there's a pretty fair chance, say the speculators around the ringside here, of him going the full distance. Can this happen? Or will he stand for this softening up process of Ali, who really wants to look good for this fight? He feels pretty bitter of the criticism that he had against Mathis. He said they really crucified me in America because I was cruel with Ernie Terrell and Floyd Patterson, and they did the same when I was kind to Mathis, but I'm not showing any tonight, and he means it. Oh yes, the right hand punch. This is the one he teed off in the first round. In this fifth round, oh, this is a brilliant Ali now. This is really back to his best. And smudge of blood on the cheeks there of Blin. He certainly takes some punishment. He's just cut, grazed under both eyes. Very puffy. He's really busting the German up. That ramrod left hand there. Two minutes left of this round, and Blin stumbling a little bit. Ali breaking him up very slowly. Will he go down and stay down for the first time? No, he won't. He's pulling himself together, really calling on every ounce of courage. Oh, and the speed of that left hook. Ali having a little difficulty understanding the referee there. He's got to stop this. He's broken him up. He's giving him a mandatory 8 count. He slumped on his knees there, just like a stricken bull. Jürgen Blin, he really felt the effect of those punches and soaked them up. But I don't think his heart can do it. It's all over. It's all over in round 7, and they're really throwing things into the ring here. It was a great finish by Muhammad Ali. He looked to me as though he was genuinely worried. But the sign of a great fighter, he had to pull it out when needed, and in fact he did.
I want to come to London in my last days to show the people that I'm still the best.
And I agree with you. Thank you very much, Muhammad.
See this crowd? Yes. These people know I'm the king of boxing. They know I'm the best. And I want everybody out there in London to tune in because I'll be there live in living color soon.
Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Muhammad.
Glad to see you.
Thank you.
And when we return, we'll see the other heavyweight who provided Reggie with some of his most dramatic commentaries, Iron Mike Tyson.
But Mike Tyson coming on the scene at a time when the heavyweight division was on its backside. That was a great time for the heavyweight division. Although he was far too good for everybody, it was a great time, it was an exciting time, and we thought then he's going to go on to prove himself the best heavyweight there's ever been.
So there you are, the black trunks, the old warrior himself, no socks, no music. Let's get this on, let's get down to business. What a professional fighter this man is, the old Jekyll and Hyde touch. He really can be, well, quite tender, you could say, to people backstage, but when he's in there, he's all business. Certainly there's no love lost between these two now, and it's going to be a question of good legs for Holmes as much as good fist, in my opinion. Well, it was inevitable, wasn't it, that Tyson was going to go straight at him. He's the freight train fighter. Just straight ahead. Holmes has got to get that left jab work and try and gain at least some respect from Tyson, who, strangely enough, was a fan of Holmes when he was world champion. Remember, Holmes was world champion when Tyson was 11 years old. Well, into the fourth, and the big odds we hear from Las Vegas is that the main bulk of betting was that Holmes would go at least 7 rounds. So, up on his toes now, Holmes. He's had his look around. And I tell you what, the crowd are behind him. They love it. I suppose you could make a comparison, Jim, when Sugar Ray Leonard was being written off before he fought Marvin Hagler and then came up and won it. In many ways, I thought that the press were a bit too harsh on Holmes.
Yeah, well, we have to remember his age, the fact that he's had a layoff. I worried him, I must be honest, I worried for Holmes' welfare before this fight's begun. But he's trying to get himself into the fight now. He's landing jabs, he's just taking a good left hook there from Tyson. But at all times I fear, because Tyson has so much power, we have to expect Holmes to find some success because of his experience and the fact that he was such a great fighter. But at all times I'm sitting here waiting for something to happen in Holmes' direction.
Oh, beautiful punch that. That was one out of the blue. Now, he used to have the best recuperative powers I've ever seen on a heavyweight, Holmes, but I doubt now whether he's going to recover from this. He's getting the full 8 count. What a peach of a punch now. Bolt out of the blue, just as he looked as though he was doing pretty well. Second time. Now, it won't necessarily happen if he does go down the third time, but his legs have totally disobeyed him now, Holmes. He's trying to get them back. He's got the experience of walking around the ring, listening to the Cortez's 8 count. And there's plenty of time in the round now. Tyson won't let him off the hook surely now. What a brave fellow, the way he's walked back into this. Remarkable, but can he last out? 4th round. No, Father Time's going to lick him. His legs are spread. How is he standing up from that? Just tremendous guts. And my heart goes out to Holmes. And full credit for Tyson to say, hey, who's going to stop this caveman of a champion coming in? How is he managing it, Jim, with a countdown clock? Can he make the round or not?
Reg, I can't believe he's still standing. These punches are tremendous punches, bang on target, and he's even trying to... Oh!
Well, that's it. He's waved the end there before the bell had a chance anyway. And what a brave showing by Larry Holmes that was. But as inevitable it was, a foolish comeback. Tyson looks down at the fallen man there.
Brought you some of Reggie's great commentaries on this Big Fight Review special. Now we leave the final thoughts to some of those who knew Reggie best.
He was a very ordinary, down-to-earth guy, and he just loved to make people laugh.
He wasn't afraid to take the mickey out of himself, but he was pretty good at taking the mickey out of me, I can tell you, because I used to say thank you this and thank you that, and he used to get up and do a thing where he'd say, Barry McGuinn says thank you this and thank you that and thank you the other fellow, and he says thank you Steve Cruz for punching the head off me.
The people who were running dinner said to him, oh, can you just like play a little tribute to Henry? And he said, oh yeah, marvellous. Well, he got up and he just told a gag after gag after gag. He didn't mention me once.
He wrote about you, Henry Cooper was everything you could wish for in a warrior, to represent your nation with dignity and with honour.
Well, that's marvellous. Yeah. I mean, that's great, that's great coming from him, yeah. Someone who you respect, who knows the game, that's marvellous, yeah.
I have to thank Reg for more than what he taught me in my commentary career, because the biggest thing that happened to me in my boxing life was signing with Terry Lawless. That's why I became European champion, world champion. Everything that has happened in my life since then is down to Terry Lawless. Well, when I split from a Scottish manager in 1976, believe it or not, it was Reg Gutteridge picked the phone up to Terry Lawless, and he says, there's a little Scots kid up there, he's just split from his manager, Jim Watt. I think he can fight a little bit, why don't you give him a call?
You grow up admiring certain people, and you got to see Reg, and you thought, this guy's everything that you wanted him to be.
Well, I first met him when I was involved in what they called unlicensed boxing. It wasn't unlicensed, it was just outside the boxing board of control jurisdiction. And he came along to one of the shows to check it out because we were getting quite good houses, lots of people buying tickets to come to see these fights. But I didn't know any different in those days, and the level they were was pretty, wasn't a great standard. And he just said to me, what are you messing around with this for? Why don't you get a licence and take a licence out? And I think through him, the Board of Control invited me to take a promoter's licence out, and I did. And very early on in my career, I'd sort of be on the phone to him all the time. I can remember, still remember it now, his telephone number by heart. And I'd talk to him about matches, what to do with fighters, and he was, he was a really sort of, a bit of a rock for me from that point of view. He gave me a lot of good advice, and it was good advice. And I know that he upset a lot of the established promoters then, because they see me as the new kid on the block, and he sort of, as I say, he was quite, quite kind to me.
Reggie was a legend. He was a lovely, lovely man. He had exceptional respect. He was funny. He was a wealth of knowledge.
Irreplaceable.
My last epitaph for him, I'd like to quote, I think it was Frank Warren in one of the newspapers. He said, Reg was one of life's nice guys. That's exactly what he was.
You go through life and, some people like you, some people don't, but I can't think of anybody who didn't like Reggie.
He wasn't just a great commentator and a great individual. He was a great human being, and he's a huge loss to the boxing community.
All over, and I have to tell you, that is the biggest upset in the fight game